Good morning, gentlemen. I'm going to talk to you today on ईरान. ईरान आप जानते हो एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट नेशन है इन सेंट्रल एशिया. At one time, it was the center of a very big empire, and the religion at that time was Zoroastrianism. But all that is over, सब खत्म हो गया है. And now एक जंग चालू है ईरान की with the United States and Israel. And उस जंग में the net result is कि ईरान has been defeated. यानी ईरान हार गया है. That is the crux of the issue. So ये नक्शा आप देख सकते हैं. This is the map of Iran, which clearly shows that Iran is being bombarded by the Israelis and the Americans, and the dots on the map show where all Iran has been hit. Iran has also reacted, and the next map will show you that Iran has attacked 8 countries which are part of the Middle East, and they have worked mayhem on them. That is the issue. There is no doubt that in this battle which Iran has fought, they have put in a brave effort, but bravery alone doesn't bring you victory. And Iran, despite all the bombing which has been going on, has all along held that it will never surrender. Unfortunately, I have to say that Iran is now on the verge of defeat. And ये क्यों defeat हो रही है? Because they were thinking that would get help from China and Russia, but unfortunately, Putin and Xi, the two leaders of the Chinese and the Russian state, have not come to help Iran. So Iran has been left alone, it is defenseless, and that is the crux of the issue, that Iran is completely alone and defenseless. And it is to the chagrin of the Chinese and the Russians that they had made a promise of help to Iran, but they didn't honor it, mainly because of the strength of the American fleet which has come in the Gulf and the Indian Ocean, 2 massive aircraft carriers, and that has been the death knell of the Iranians. Firstly, as I've already told you, the Iran Revolutionary Guard, which is supposed to be the main force which is going to guard Khomeini and his regime, is now suspect, it is scared. There have been massive casualties, there is demoralization, because this force actually is supposed to defend the ruling elite. In no other country you have such a force which defends the ruling elite against its own people, but this is precisely what is happening here. And the Iranian Revolutionary Guard was the kingpin, I would say the linchpin, but heavy bombardment, heavy air battles from the top have put them into serious problem, and now I think they really don't know what's going to happen next. The Iranian Navy has also been wiped out, as you all know it. I think 42 ships which were constituted the Iranian Navy have all been destroyed, and 2 of their ships, which took part in the exercise at the invitation of the Indians in the Eastern Command, that is in the Bay of Bengal, but going back, but one of them has been sunk with the loss of, I think, almost 200 lives, and another ship is now in hiding in Kochi in the Kerala, and making use of Indian naval facilities. I mean, it's a very sad thing to think that what's really happened is this, but the fact remains that the Americans used some of the most stupendous type of bombers, a flash of which I've just shown you, which were the supersonic stealth bombers, the B-1, the B-2, and the long-range Lancer. And these bombers have played hell into these Irani forces. Their air bases, their launching silos, they have been attacked. In 8 days of fighting, I think Iran has been reduced to ruble. And that part is what really matters. They have been reduced to an absolute ruble. And we do not know what's going to happen next after this. Obviously, it's a very, very serious situation as it stands at the moment, as far as Iran is concerned. And the fact remains that the Iranians fought this war when the feet under their legs was actually quicksand. And now they have got embroiled in that quicksand. They don't know what to do. Because to start with, the leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khomeini, who had been planning all his 39 years life to how he's going to defeat the Americans, was wiped out of battle in the first 1 hour. He was sent to the land, to heaven, or God knows where, and he ceased to exist. He's dead. And along with him, 48 other top Iranian leaders have been sent to the end of the world. No country can fight a war if the top leadership is wiped out. And how it happened is another mystery. But the fact remains, I think the Israeli intelligence, Mossad, had infiltrated to the highest echelons of the Iranian leadership, with the result that Iran really stood no chance. Even now, the second rung of leaders have been wiped out. I had some time back, you must have seen, I had shown the photograph of 4 of the top generals of the IR, the Republican Guard. Many of them, like these 4, have been executed, have been killed, and there's nothing much that can be done about that. That is the crux of the issue now as it stands. Iran is devoid of leadership. Their Revolutionary Guard is not able to act, and the heavy bombardment from the air, the like of which has never been seen by anybody in the world, not even in World War II, has put paid to any effort of the Iranians to make a semblance of a stand. There are a lot of people in India and abroad, who are actually the leftist media, which somehow has infiltrated into the world of media all over the world. And they've been trying to create a situation, or rather trying to put forward a thesis that Iran is putting up a great fight, number one. Number two, the Americans and the Israelis are going to be caught in quicksand and they will be sunk and the war will drag on and ultimately Iran may be the winner. Now, this theory is actually totally false. It's got no relevance, actually. The Iranians are now all alone in the desert, in the Middle East deserts and Asia Minor. They did a great blunder by attacking 8 Sunni countries and using their rockets and missiles over them, destroying their structures, oil structures, their ports, airports, airfields, and the net result is that they have been totally isolated. So once Iran is isolated, there is very little chance that it can survive further. Another mistake which they have done is to have closed the Strait of Hormuz. So this is a double-edged sword. It's going to harm Iran more than it's going to harm the Gulf states and other nations which are buying oil from this region. The net result is that Iran itself is now in serious problem here. It's become like a lone wolf, and very shortly the wolf will be shot dead, killed, and that is the end of it. In fact, the war, in my opinion, has now taken into a different shape. It's become more of a religious war with the Sunnis fighting the Shias. Remind you of the famous Battle of Karbala earlier, which were also led to the birth of Shiaism, but that has been the very terrible feature which has happened of the present war. We have the Sunni countries lined up against Iran. And America, despite the fact that many do not like the Americans, the fact remains that America under Donald Trump is a different kettle of fish. They're not going to give up anything at all. They say, we are not going to give up and we want total surrender. Donald Trump has just said it. And in my opinion, I think total surrender is on the cards. It will happen, and Iran may not rise up to the old level for the next 50 to 100 years. It's a very sad occurrence that you talk like this, but the Iranians were heading for destruction. Self destruction, that is harakiri, suicide. That's what the Iranians were doing. I think, gentlemen, I would like to close now and say goodbye to you all. Please subscribe to my channel. The war is very clear. I will say Jai Hind, glory to India, and please take care of yourself and don't come and visit Iran at the moment. That's all I will say. Goodbye.